But now that you are an illustrator and you do work for Disney, you kind of you've made it. Like, what has your experience been like working for Disney TVA, and do you have any tips for those considering the same career?
Oh man, this is gonna be a long one. So my job specifically is actually called storyboarding, and I like will board out an episode, either based on an outline or a script. And there's just so much to it. Storyboarding is really hard. There's a lot of like hats that we have to wear, like knowing composition, acting, um, all the film rules, knowing how to do perspective, backgrounds. I'm so bad at backgrounds. I always get notes on my backgrounds. But I've gotten better. And like keeping track of like 10 people and also writing at the same time. Writing is a really heavy thing on big city greens. We're very like the showrunners are very like specific about the writing and stuff. It's like really important for the show specifically. And so like I'll sit in there in meetings for like 2 hours getting notes, and I have to be ready for it. And it's sort of it's awesome that I got to start my career, but it's starting it in the pandemic was really hard. Normally you like get to go in and like sort of learn things in person and like turn around your coworker. I have like a board partner that I work on the episodes with, and I don't get to collaborate really as much, and I think the team was still figuring out like how to efficiently work on the show during the pandemic. And so I was sort of struggling to figure everything out sort of by myself for the first 4 months. I had to reach out to my coworkers. Um, and if I didn't reach out to them, I wouldn't have even spoken to my coworkers. And there's so much to learn. I really like struggled with my first 2 episodes. And it was scary knowing that like my work is going to like be an episode and it has to be good or like this episode is not going to be great. But also that's not entirely true because the directors also work on it afterwards. So if I messed up, they will fix it. There's a lot of pressure, and I have to learn and I have to study every day for it. And it's there. I have this much energy compared to normal life pre-pandemic, and I'm not seeing people, and I'm not like getting the inspiration you normally would when you uh, are living your life and stuff. So and writing is a little bit hard too, but I'm trying to really milk my brain. Um, but it's also been really cool because I'm learning from a lot of incredibly talented artists, people that I've been looking up to for a long time. Um, some of them are like prodigies, I swear. They're crazy. Their brains are so big. And like it's I feel like I'm soaking it up a little bit. But in the office, I'm like excited to go to the office because I'll be soaking up even more. And it's also humbling every time I see someone pitch because their work is so good, and I'm trying to catch up to them. I'm trying to think of what else. I have gotten a chance to see one of my episodes come back. Do you guys want to know about how the production works exactly? So usually I think we get like 5 to 7 weeks for our episodes. Our Big City Greens episodes are like 10.5 minutes, and it's like 2 episodes in one that usually air on TV, kind of like Adventure Time. Um, and it usually takes around 5 weeks. I think it's been like a 7 week uh, period since COVID started to give us a little bit more time. And that first week, I have to do roughs for half of the episode, and then second week I do roughs for the second half, and then they give us notes for both roughs every week, and then the third week I'm addressing all of the notes, and then I have to pitch the full episode rough with my partner. I also pitched the roughs for the previous weeks. And then after the pinup pitch, we sort of start cleaning for like 2-3 weeks. But we still get notes at the pinup pitch, so I have to address those notes as well while I'm cleaning, and sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes I take like the first week to just address the notes, and then I start cleaning like all 8 hours a day. And then there's like a check-in in the middle to see how we're doing with like proportions and technical stuff, and like the production team will like, or yeah, the directors and someone from production will sort of draw over it to see if things are okay for production overseas, because we ship our animation overseas. And then after we clean, I send it to my director and start the new episode. And then 1 week into the new episode is when the director will give me back the cleans that he looked over. And then I pitch it to the execs and the whole team, which is terrifying. I'm pitching like every week, and it's always so scary. I think I've pitched like more times than I can count with my hands, and I still like almost throw up every time. But that's the production schedule, and so I'm in my 4th episode now, and I've gotten the chance to see my first episode in an animatic form with like someone timed, like the editors timed it, the director fixed it up, made it fit in the 10.5 minutes, and like made it better, and then played it to us, with some of the voice acting already. And it's so cool seeing it. Like that's like when it finally like paid off, I think, because like every week it's like, here's notes, more work. And then the animatic comes back and it's like, wow, that's my episode. And it's so cool. Like Danny Trejo is one of the voice actors for one of our characters, and he's like one of the main characters in my episode. And when that came back with his voice, I was like, oh my god, he's saying the lines that I wrote. That's so cool. I can die now. But yeah, it's an amazing experience. And the team is very, very nice and very kind. I've heard that the Big City Greens team is like famous for being so friendly, and they really are. They're like so kind. All the artists are very close knit. I assume in the office, I think they like hang out a lot. And the showrunners have like really, like after they finally like settled in the production schedule and stuff, they really like reached out to help me and make sure I was okay. And they sort of realized, oh, Bernice needs help. Like, and then we started doing these like discussions about like talking about writing and like how to specifically board for the show, and like just talking about comedy and cartoons and stuff. And it's nice. It's really cool to get that help too, because it's good to know what they want from me. Yeah, so it's been good, I think. Just really, really, really hard.
Obviously, work has seemed to be a big influence on you and your day to day experience. Outside of work, though, and I know you've worked on these past fundraisers, outside of those, do you have other outlets for your creativity?
I actually do run like a little online store. Um, just making like random stationery stuff, and like stickers, notepads, and stuff. That sort of stuff. It's just fun for me. At at some point in my life, I was like, I want to make like a stationery brand, and someone was like, just do it. And I was like, okay. And then I started with stickers, and then started trying more stuff. And like, I don't think I can do a whole stationery brand, especially with my job now, but it's so fun to make stuff and like see it come back and like hold the real thing, and then also share it with people. Like, it makes me so happy that other people are interested in the stuff that I make, and they will support and like make these orders. And like I've had some friends from like Australia be like, "Can you ship to Australia so that I can have your notepad?" And I'll be like, "Okay, are you okay with the $20 shipping? Is that fine?" And they'll be like, "Yes," and that's so nice. Um, it's so it's so it's very nice. There was another word I was gonna say, it disappeared from my head. And like I recently made. Do you want to see? I made some tape recently that I'm very proud of. This is like my most recent thing that I made, and like washi tape. It's just like a little. This is a sticker it came in, and it like looks like that, and it's got like my son on it and stuff, and strawberries and dumplings. I guess that's another way that like my Asian American being Asian has influenced my art. I like to draw dumplings. um, and it also matches some of the notepads I've made, so it's just so fun. I also use that stuff myself. I think I made it for myself, and then other people can have it too. And I also do a lot of comics, like 4-panel comics. That sort of like I feel like it helps jog my brain for like storyboarding because it's like sequential art and storytelling and stuff. And it's I don't think about it so much. Like I don't plan my comics. They're just fun to do, and it like makes me happy to do them.
No, that's awesome.
Such like a great way to just like get creative and love your passion is like first and foremost to do it for yourself and then get this like international brand all the way to like Australia. It's just like, yeah, that's the way to do it. I think that's like so inspiring. Like first and
Thank
foremost, it should
you.
be for you, but then you can share with other people too. That's so
I
props to you.
actually I made this mouse pad for myself. It's a little sun and it's squishy. Also matches the tape because everything I do is the same thing. But I made that for myself. But it was like you had to make 20, so I made 25, and so other people can have it too. But like that was for me.
Also, do you want to put a plug in for your store?
Oh yeah, it's actually just my name.com. So BerniceSioson.com.
Yeah, well, no, your products, like you're mentioning several people, and you're like they're prodigies and blah blah blah. But like, I feel like there's something so special about people like you and like what you do, and those little products that bring you joy, and also others. And like I'm your market, she's your like like the
Cute.
dumpling lovers of the world, right? Yeah, like I love those little things where you're like, oh my God, the attention to detail, like those little things that just, like, that's what brings me joy, like little, those little things. So, like, you're doing it and you're making it for yourself, but, like, I feel like you're winning if what you're making for yourself is also bringing joy to others. And so, just, so kudos, because that's, yeah, you're killing it. And I can't also wait. I'm hoping no, and also I'm definitely going to be like purchasing something after this. So, yeah, you're the coolest. So last question, official question. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the world about you, your story, or your experiences?
I guess like a big thing is a lot of for a long time I was looking at the what's the term, outside looking into the industry and stuff. And it felt impossible to sort of get a job. And it is really hard. It's really competitive, and you're competing with people who are already in the industry because it's gig based, and so everyone like once your job ends, you have to find a new job. Um, and it's scary. But it's you really have to just sit there and commit to working on the specific skills that are needed for the specific job that you want in the production line. And that's something I had to like really realize at some point because I feel like I was doing everything that I could in terms of like art to find it like any creative job because I was desperate. And it wasn't until I like sat down and took this class and like committed my entire time, entire life to boarding during the pandemic with this story group that I finally like broke into the industry. Committing and stuff, it's really important. And yeah, to just make things that you enjoy.